What's going on, world? What's going on, Japan? What's going on, gamers? So, what we're going to be doing here today is we're going to be covering three subjects here. One, the subject right here about this individual going off on Ubisoft. Two, what Elon Musk warned Ubisoft about. Speaking on DEI kills art and why DEI must die and how it just has no benefit to anything and it only just downgrades the quality and then it just makes art just terrible. And it's not natural, obviously. We all know that, unless we're just ignorant, like some people with low IQs that I get into on number three. The comments left on my channel that are just like, you would think after so much time has passed, you would be educated now, but I guess you still are that dumb, and it just doesn't matter. No one can convince you to grow past that. But we'll get to that. This is going to be an interesting one. And by the way, Japan, everybody else, thanks for the support on this channel and supporting somebody who's actually intelligent and is going to do the right thing with their influence. I need this to grow even bigger and bigger and bigger because you need people who are going to be doing the right things, and I'm one of them. You're going to be getting epic content, drama, controversy, doing the right thing though, not just to do it, streaming, all types of stuff, you know. So yeah, guys, hit that sub button and let's get this channel growing and let's get in the face of these corrupt individuals. Now, let's start off by focusing on this. Then we'll go into the comment on Elon Musk, because that's part of this too. And then we'll get to some of these comments.
What's interesting here as we go over
Stick
to
around.
Rock Park Place, Assassin's Creed Shadow executive producer admits Ubisoft is going, quote, beyond what is acceptable truth when they're in their game.
I mean, you have black, not a samurai guy and female ninja. Yeah, I think we've gone beyond what was possible in this particular period. Of course, look, I was playing Assassin's Creed Mirage last night, which I actually liked that game.
That's hilarious, man. The way he just like blurt that out and sees it, that cracks me up. It's a lot more to it than that, though. But I know what he meant. I'm sorry, that was just funny. One, yeah, we know he's not a samurai. Two, the Japanese male has been done wrong. Everybody wants to see authentic samurai. Like when you look at what happened with Shogun, look at all those Emmys it won. That's how you do samurai lore and respect, right, for the Japanese culture. It was epic. You guys can see how many Emmys Shogun won. It's leading the year big time and one of the highest Emmys like ever. But all in all, getting back to this, it's not just that, but it's the DEI version of him, and also him being gay, having him do things that are just not historically accurate. And I don't know how many times I have to tell these ignorant morons that historically accurate is the foundation and soul of Assassin's Creed franchise. More than ever here, because you use the history of somebody that was actually real. So you're putting that, like, if you want to say fiction, I just want to slap these people because I'm like, first of all, you imbecile. Him right there is a real character and based off of real history. This is the first time they ever did that based off of the main protagonist. Everything else in Assassin's Creed has always been historically accurate. When we talk about architecture, the lore on the architecture, the characters, the way that the environments are there, and if they don't have that, they fill it in, and then you have a bit of mixed fantasy on there. But I've played them all, so when I hear people say this is how I know they're ignorant and they don't know what they're talking about, and they just want to project stuff to distract you so that you can't show them the truth. They don't want to see it. They just want to see a political identity, and they just want to ignore everything because they just can't handle it. And a lot of these people are defending Ubisoft or bots from Ubisoft or individuals who just can't handle that Ubisoft has failed. It's not that hard to see. But let's go ahead and continue this.
Game, it was kind of a return to form a little bit for the franchise. It's a shame it's going to be followed by this turd. But in that one, you're warping around doing chain assassins and chain assassinations, and like you have superpowers. There's a genie in it, right? They've gone beyond accepted truth for quite a minute now. Didn't you have a Medusa boss fight in Odyssey?
That makes sense, though.
I would not say no. I don't know that for sure, but
I think you literally had a boss fight with Medusa.
I think most people expect, and we talked about this briefly yesterday, the idea of taking creative liberties, right? But they've consistently over and over again talked about how they're going to honor honor the heritage and honor the area, the time frame, and all this along the lines. This goes back to the interview with the New York Times. We touched on.
This is nothing but PR talk, though. DEI can't honor anything except its own garbage that it wants to inject and ruin what's actually honorable and amazing and intelligent from real intelligent developers with real producers and real support behind it with a real gaming base.
On this briefly last week, but the guy came out and he told the outlets, he said, this once again from That Park Place, says, we want people to be passionate about history. What does that mean? Stay true to the well-documented moments and historical figures, but not shying away from.
But you see this right here? We want people to be passionate about history. That's what I try to tell you. But this is not history, though. This is altering history, disrespecting history. And not only that, now he's not even considered to even be a real Japanese ninja. As I've talked to people the past few weeks, because she wasn't focused on at first, but now people are getting to her. She's more like a Chinese modified ninja. Even the instruments that they're playing are Chinese. You can even see Chinese architecture in here. Ubisoft is doing this on purpose. It's not an accident.
Having a critical point of view and defying cliches to go beyond what is the accepted.
Blow me, Ubisoft. Blow me. Absolutely blow me. You remember when the first game came out?
Yeah, of course.
So they reviewed that game at Exo6, or they previewed that game at Exo6. Had a great showing. You remember Jade Raymond was on, and it kind of messed up at the end, but it turned a lot of heads. People were really, really excited. They showed it off at E3. It was a big thing. And everyone was like, oh, hey, it's going to be this. And they were saying on stage, this is going to be a game about a member of the Hashashin in the Holy Land killing Saracens and Crusaders. That's the premise.
Yeah, that goes all the way back to Jerusalem where Christ was at. That's biblical. It's very true what he's talking about. That's why it's called the Holy Land. And that's where Assassin's Creed has a huge foundation in. It's very interesting because, guys, let's think about this. Assassin's Creed, Altair. We're gonna just do this right here. Here we go right here. I'm gonna find him for you. Here. See, he's real. Lord of the Nizari Ismaili state in Syria. In office 1162 and 1193. The Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was real. This was who mentored Altair in the first game. This individual right here. You see, it's called the Order of Assassins. 1090 AD. A lot of people don't know about this. So you guys can take a look at this if you're very interested about how Assassin's Creed came to be and what it's really based off of. It's always historically accurate.
Premise of this game. Anybody remember that? Somehow, by the time we got to launch, they were no longer called the Hashashin. They were called just Assassins. Does anybody know why that happened?
No.
It's because we wanted to be sensitive to the quasi-terroristic Muslims who are descended from the actual Hashashin. We've got to be sensitive to their cultural history and their history. Oh, but Japan, they can go fuck off. Right? Oh, no. But Japan not having black samurai, all the historians who are fact-checking them on the actual history of the feudal period in Japan. No. They can go kick rocks. We'll bend over backward. We'll splay our sandalwood-scented assholes for the Hashashin ancestors. No. But freaking Japan, they can come with all the receipts in the world, and we'll still make our goofy female ninja black samurai game. Seriously, gargle with lie.
Well, the article continues. Thank you for that, Razor. It's wonderful. He's
calling them hypocrites. And it's quite clear that the people that did respect that are not the same in office. This is what happens when DEI invades.
All right.
No, I love it. I love it. It's great. Benoit said in May, says, we're at the end of the Sengoku era. In a turning point of Japan history, Assassin's Creed is well known for its depictions of the history and accurate recreation of the world. And it's what players can expect with Assassin's Creed Shadows. We're showing real historical figures such as Oda Nobunaga and a lot of events that happened during that time. So you're not only playing in feudal Japan, you're learning about this fantastic time period. Now, this is kind of interesting here. The same person says, ironically, the New York Times' Zachary Small also shared that Kote believes this, quote, approach would inevitably open Assassin's Creed to more criticism in the future, but the developers have decided it was a risk worth taking. So they knew that this was going to be a thing. As Kote previously admitted that he was, this is hilarious, emotionally broken by Elon Musk for simply posting that DEI kills art when he found that Assassin's Creed Shadows featured a game.
And no one has broken art harder than Ubisoft. Let's be real.
Yeah, so if you guys are wondering where that's at, that's right here. Should Ubisoft delay Assassin's Creed Shadows in response to widespread backlash over the game's injection of DEI? The game is so thoroughly woke that it features a black gay protagonist depicted as a real historical samurai in Japan. Offensive beyond belief, no one asked for it. DEI kills art. This was May 24th, 2024. He'd been said this before that even broke out. And a lot of other people knew this too. And he's been talking about this for a while. But yeah, emotionally broke him. It's like, dude, you knew it did. You say that, but that I wouldn't say that that's actually the truth here. And this was on June 14th, 2024 that they made this article, but he said that before that. So then they released that trailer after that. So it's like, yeah, nobody's feeling sorry for you.
Kote informed GameFile how this post broke him. The tweet generated emotions that the first thing I wanted to do was go back on X that I had deleted and just tweet back. I just took a step back. I have a mindfulness app on my phone.
We have an app for being a mature adult now, ladies and gentlemen. We have an app to remind you not to be a spurg on the internet. If that isn't the purest distillation of this French fagaloon state of mind and level of emotional maturity, I don't know what will instruct you. My God, a mindfulness app.
That's right.
Hey, before you hit send, don't be a retard. Oh, thanks, app. Jesus. Normally, my upbringing and parentage would have actually sorted that out for me, but Jesus.
Well, he's from France. It's all right. It says, and I did a bit of the...
This is not to everybody in France, but he's talking about a certain mindset. I think we saw what happened with the Last Supper nonsense, right? So he's kind of like, projecting onto that, which is pretty obvious. For the French people that aren't like that, y'all are cool. And I feel sorry for y'all that you have to deal with that.
Of mindfulness to try to explore the emotions that this tweet created. I mean, this is spectacular. Truly is. He then accused Musk of feeling hatred while being the one who actually accepted hatred. For me, Elon, it's sad. He's just feeding hatred. I had one of those.
Okay, yeah, be a little bitch more and try to play the victim when really the real damage is being done by what you did, causing up a ruckus after that, knowing that when you released that trailer and you did this, how you would affect Japan, how you would affect other people, how you would start up stuff between people where there is no problems. So I'm not trying to hear that victim card nonsense. It's not working on me, and keep your emotions to yourself. Let's deal with this in a masculine sense. Yeah, get on with that feminist nonsense.
A lot of 3-word replies that came to mind. Nevertheless, Kote continued, by attacking someone like Elon, I'm not convinced people about I will not convince people about our point of view as a team. So there you go.
Completely fictitious point of view.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I find this offensive only because, come on, we know why they did this. They did this because they have a checklist. They have to include a female protagonist. They have to include a protagonist of color. That's literally handed down from on high. They've taken DEI money. They're 15% owned by Tencent. This is not a mystery. We don't have to sit here and interpret tea leaves. Stop insulting our intelligence by pretending you were inspired to do this. You were inspired by the giant checklist that you have to fulfill or you will not have a job.
Layoffs.
Blow it at your ass.
But you know what this reminds me of? The whole...
He reminds me of a realistic rock and roll dude. He cracks me up. But what he said is very true. It's like I told people that It goes all the way back to the far left Democratic Party. It goes all the way back to companies like BlackRock. All these DEI enforced agendas that have to be fulfilled, or they'll lay you off. But what you can do is you could let your stock die, but we'll still give you the money. You still have the same money, but your stock looks dead, and then let's manipulate that, right? There's some things I'm starting to find out too about that, y'all. So don't be fooled about that. Like I said, they are taking a paycheck, so they're letting things die and pissing off other people. And it's not like they're broke, no, because the people that are supporting this, they have the money, but they still don't want games to fail. So they'll have to move things around and come underneath a different label like Bridge and all these other DEI labels. And we're going to get right on it and we're going to slam it instantly. This is war, and a war is not over until it's won. So there is no resting. I don't care about all those people saying, "Why are you still doing?" It's like, you don't understand. You're weak. You're sitting in the back, backseating. You know what I mean? I don't take you serious. Where are you at? Where's your camera at? You know what I mean? Where's your channel at? What are you doing to fight against corruption? You're not doing anything. And all these other people that have the influence positions, you're nothing but sellouts and cowards. But what's even worse is people who don't have a channel at all that are talking nonsense behind your back. Teaming up with other idiots that are obsessed with political identity because they have low IQs and they couldn't see anything, so you had to open their eyes. So you know what I mean? I don't take any of these people serious because it's like, you ain't doing anything and you ain't on stage. You're just sitting in the crowd. Shut your mouth.
The truth is like there's the truth and then there's my truth, and that's basically the entire thing that I got from that.
I think it'll be really important for people to.
But there's just truth though.
But it continues here as we have more to the story. Razor says, Kote then shared that he believes Ubisoft will convince players of his team's point of view, which we know is going, quote, once again, beyond what is the acceptable truth within the first 15 minutes of the game.
Beyond what is acceptable truth for his DEI team, whatever the hell that means. That's more nonsense. These people are confused.
Yatsuke is very, very grounded in the history of the franchise and how we make our choices. We got a super mysterious historical character from which not much is known about. And for us, it was what we want in Assassin's Creed. So, he says, what Elon says is not the game we're building. People will have to play the game themselves. And if within the first 11
Elon Musk is right.
11 minutes, 47 seconds, they are not convinced of what we're doing, we can have that discussion. Well, I guess that's a pretty quick turnaround. 11 minutes and 47 seconds. Very precise. So I guess it goes back to window shopping, right? The idea that people make their decisions.
Yeah, and there's Ghost of Tsushima in the other window. Like, right. Talk about a miscalculation. It's now been released on PC. You can mark my words. When this game comes out, there will be a spike in Ghost of Tsushima players on Steam.
I think that may happen a little bit, but this could be something more interesting, guys. Check this out. So everybody knows that Sony has a big conference to do before the end of the year, the next State of Play. Imagine if they announce Ghost of Tsushima 2 before this game comes out. Oh man, that's a high possibility. That may happen. We'll find out in the next week or two. But that'll be even more funny because they'll just be more in trouble. But yeah, they had the opportunity to do very well, and now they are not in a good position.
Mark my words.
It's interesting. He follows up with saying,
if it's as bad as we're all thinking, and it looks pretty bad.
Well, whether it's good or not, right? That's the thing about this, because this guy says it's an Assassin's Creed game, and I believe it's the best one we've ever built. Okay, cool. That's what you're supposed to say.
That's just PR talk.
Supposed to be proud. But once again, will people take the dive? Will they pay the $60 or $70 for Assassin's Creed, given the publicity around this? Whether the game is good or not, it doesn't matter. You got to get people in the door first to try it. And I don't know if people are willing to give it, I don't know if Japan as a country is willing to give this a try. I'm sure some people will just kind of stick their foot in the water, and just kind of stream it. But I don't know. I think.
And Japan actually, like if you look at the track record, they actually have solid support for the Assassin's Creed franchise. They were looking forward to this big time, just like everybody else. Everybody wanted an epic ninja game. We didn't want this. You know what I mean? So let's see what they have to do. Like I said, if I even touch this game, it's going to be on Ubisoft Plus. I'm not buying it. I haven't bought an Ubisoft game day one in a while. I think Division was probably the last one. and I actually enjoyed the Division, but they made stupid mistakes with Division 2. But we're not looking at the same Ubisoft in those times compared to now. It's just very sad that you got the DEI takeover going on, but we're going to see what happens to them in the next few months, but obviously it's not going to be anything good.
This will do fine.
Ghost of Tsushima was controversial in Japan, right? Like even, and they were pretty respectful of Japanese history. A lot of stuff that is like done by Westerners sometimes has some level of controversy incumbent in it. But this is just, you're going completely the other way just to make a ham-fisted political point, and you're not even owning up to it. That's the part that galls me. Like, I
agree with him, because we could talk about like not owning up to things, because they are being intellectual, emotional cowards. And like I said, the worst type of cowards are emotional cowards, spiritual cowards, and intellectual cowards. Going over to physically hit on someone, I mean that's not much courage. No, real courage is emotional and spiritual and intellectual courage. But there's too much cowards in the world in those categories, and they lack development. Want me to name one right here? This guy right here, Thomas Lockley, the one who wrote the African samurai nonsense, and who's been doing it for a very long time, and disrespected Japanese culture. Where is this guy at? He doesn't exist, but yet he's letting everybody else take the hits. Not only that, but I want to show you guys something else. Okay, now there's 2 books on this, right? Now I want y'all to think about this. This is the other guy that nobody's paying attention to. I'm showing you guys something here. He was a part of this. He was his co-writer. He's in Germany. This individual right here, Geoffrey Girard. So Japan, y'all look into him. There's not much to look into, but it's good to know that this guy played a hand into it, but he's kind of like being ignored. So yeah, that's very interesting, isn't it? But not a lot of people know about that guy. I do though, and I've been known about him, and I made that in one of my other videos. But I'm gonna save the comment stuff for another time. This video's long enough. Let me know what y'all think. Like, subscribe, like I said, y'all. Peace out.